Well, good evening there to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is Scott Manning from Scott Manning YouTube Sports Talk. I want to thank all of my loyal viewers for being with me here tonight. This is the final episode of the Scott Manning College Football YouTube Podcast Pregame Show. It's been a great show so far this year. We talked about a lot this year in college football. It has been a very impressive season so far. And I also got to get you ready for the New Year's Six bowl games coming up starting tomorrow. We're just going to jump right into the show because I have a lot I want to talk about here in about the next 20 minutes to a half hour. I'm going to guide you through the New Year's Six bowl games like you wouldn't believe, and I'm going to do my best to give you a lot and give you the best show I can give you. So sit back, relax. Let me guide you through the show. Let me guide you through the New Year's Six bowl games, and we're going to have a blast doing it. All right, we're going to start it right off with the two college football national semifinal games. Number 2 Clemson versus number 3 Notre Dame. Thanks, man. Thank you for joining me here today. Thank you for joining me here this evening. Now, number 2 Clemson. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate your comments. Thank you. Keep the comments coming. Hey, join me during the show. I may give you some recognition during the night as well. So let's have fun. Number 2 Clemson. Number 3 Notre Dame. Clemson. What can you say? Dabo Swinney has already said they've already landed in Dallas, and he's already said we're ready for Notre Dame. Now, Trevor Lawrence is going to be the starting quarterback. That's going to be a very interesting thing. Now, let's think about this. Trevor Lawrence, he's got 24 touchdowns, along with also 2,606 yards passing this season, along with 4 interceptions. But he wasn't even the starter when the season started. Kelly Bryant was the original starter for Clemson. Kelly Bryant got benched after some bad performances, and the sad part for Kelly Bryant, he was 16-2 as a starter. He's since left and gone to Missouri. So Kelly Bryant is gone. Trevor Lawrence can still be the guy to go to when Clemson wants to beat Notre Dame. On the other hand, Notre Dame, they've got a great quarterback himself in Ian Book. He's been very impressive this season. And he wasn't even the starter. Brandon Wimbush was a starter for Notre Dame. After a very impressive 24-17 victory over Michigan in the opening game of the season, Notre Dame kind of struggled against Ball State, and all of a sudden, Notre Dame coach Brian Kelly said he'd had enough of Wimbush's bad starts. He put Ian Book in against Wake Forest. Ian Book just took off like there was no tomorrow. Also, too, think about this. Notre Dame, they do also have 2 big weapons. Chase Claypool and Miles Boykin. Those 2 could be the deciding factors. Those are the 2 X factors for the game against Notre Dame and Clemson. All right, Fast Break 86. Keep the comments coming. And I'm going to say it now. It's going to be very interesting to see how this game goes out. But Trevor Lawrence, he's a great quarterback. Clemson, they've got one of the best defenses in the ACC. So with that in mind, I hate to upset the Irish fans, but I'm going to go with Clemson winning this game 28-24. Because I think Clemson's got a better quarterback. Nothing personal against Ian Book. He's had a fantastic season. Chase Claypool and Miles Boykin, they played too many close games against teams like Ball State. There's just been some... and I think you nailed it too. I think Clemson will win this game too, and that's according to Fast Break 86. 386, I mean. My bad there. But anyway. I got Clemson taking this game 28-24 over Notre Dame. It's going to be a close one, but I think Trevor Lawrence is just too good. And I think Dabo Swinney said, we got the team that can win the national championship this year. We've already proven ourselves. If we can prove ourselves against Notre Dame, we'll have to see what happens with Alabama and Oklahoma. Okay, speaking of Alabama and Oklahoma, let's talk about them for a minute. Now this is going to be the game that's going to be Tua Tagovailoa of Alabama versus Kyler Murray. But here's the big question. Here's the $64,000 question. Will Tua Tagovailoa be healthy enough to play? He might not be at 100% because of an ankle injury. Remember, he hurt his left ankle in the SEC championship game, and all of a sudden, Jalen Hurts had to come in. It was Jalen Hurts that put Alabama in the position where they're at now. And also, too, Kyler Murray, the Heisman Trophy winner. A lot of people said he didn't deserve it. A lot of people said Dwayne Haskins deserved the Heisman. I'll get to Haskins here in a bit. But let's think about it. Kyler Murray, 4,053 yards passing this season. Yeah, thank you so much for saying that. He said he'll be able to play. He'll be at 80 to 85%. That worries me. That concerns me. But because this is Oklahoma we're talking about. But Tua Tagovailoa, I think he'll be in good shape. but he might not be at 100%. So just keep that in the back of your minds. But Alabama coach Nick Saban said, we'll be ready for the game. We're going to be ready for a battle all the way to the end. And because they got the Heisman Trophy winner in Kyler Murray, and Oklahoma coach Lincoln Riley said, I think we got the quarterback that can win it. I really do. But there's another X factor too. Yeah, not at 100%. He's not going to be at 100%. That's a fact. But here's the thing. I think Alabama's going to be okay. He's not going to be at 100%, but he'll be good to go. But there's an X factor for Oklahoma, and his name is Hollywood Marquise Brown. How much of a factor will he be? Because you got to remember something. Against Texas in the Big 12 championship game, it was Hollywood Brown and Kyler Murray that hooked up and really put the game out of reach for the Texas Longhorns, if your memory serves me right. In this game, it's going to be close. But I think Alabama takes this game 38-24. They're saying it's going to be a 14-point game. I've got to go along with that because Tua Tagovailoa, I think, is just too strong. Because now I know he's only thrown for 3,300 yards this season, 3,353 yards and 37 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. But I will say this. I've got Alabama beating Oklahoma 38-28. The only way I could see Oklahoma pulling off the upset is if Tua Tagovailoa leaves the game with that same ankle injury. He's going to be at 80 to 85%. But what will the Oklahoma? Because Oklahoma's got a great defense too. I know the Big 12 has no defense at all. But the bottom line is, I'm going with Alabama 38-28. And this is going to be an interesting game all the way to the end. Now those are our 2 national semifinal games. But we also have 4 other New Year's Six bowl games. I haven't forgot about 4 other New Year's Six bowl games. I have not forgot about them, so I'm going to talk about them. Let's see. The Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Number 7, Michigan. Number 10, Florida. Think back. Jim Harbaugh, remember, I'm going to say this now. Jim Harbaugh has been a nightmare as a coach at Michigan. He can't beat Ohio State worth a lick. He's had some struggles. But Florida coach Dan Mullen's had some struggles too. But let's think about this for a minute. Florida's pass defense, if Michigan wants to win this game, they're going to have to win it on the ground with Karan Higdon. Because Florida's rush defense is 69th in the country. I think Shea Patterson's passing game might be grounded because Florida's pass defense is 9th in the country. And also, too, Florida has Felipe Franks and Lanenko Perini. Or I don't know how you pronounce his name. But let's think about this for a minute. Florida is 8-0 when they rush for over 200 yards. They're 1-3 when they don't. So there's a lot to think about there. But Felipe Franks is a great guy. He's a great player at the University of Florida. Florida coach Dan Mullen has already said, if we can beat the Michigan front 7, it's the front 7 that worries me for Michigan. Now, if Michigan wants to win this game, they're going to have to run the ball because they got Karan Higdon, Chris Evans, and Drew Wilson. Because I don't think Shea Patterson's passing game is going to be a factor at all. And also, too, Florida, the X factor for Michigan is if they want to beat Florida, Michigan's front 7's got to step up. And Michigan's got one of the best, has got the defensive player, Big Ten Player of the Year, and Devin Bush on their team. That is a frightening moment. And also, too, Michigan versus Florida, that's going to be a great game. I really do agree with that because that is going to be a great game. And also, too, there's been some speculation, and I've heard some things going around. The information I received, a lot of people have said, and I've got to go along with this, as a result of what Ohio State did to Michigan in that 62-39 blowout, some people have already said, if Michigan loses their bowl game, Jim Harbaugh will be out at the University of Michigan. I don't know how much truth there is to that. I'm hearing rumors. I'm not going to speculate on that right now. I'm going to hold off on that because I really do believe this is going to be a great game. And this is going to be a great game. Number 7, Michigan, number 10, Florida in the Peach Bowl. This is going to be a game well worth the price of admission. Who will step up? Will it be Florida's will it be Florida's pass defense, or will it be Michigan's front 7 and Devin Bush? Because let's think about this. If Michigan wants to win this game, they're going to have to win it on the ground. Because if they try to pass, Florida's pass defense is 9th in the country. And there's a lot to think about there, too. And the bottom line is, if Florida runs for over 200 yards, give it to Florida. If Michigan's front seven steps up, give it to Michigan. But for right now, I'm going to keep this a close game. I'm going to say, I originally had said Michigan 35-31. I've changed my mind. I'm going to go with Michigan 21-17. That's how I feel, because let's think about this. Michigan's going to have to win this game on the ground, because Florida's pass defense is the ninth best in the country. But if Michigan's front seven can step up, if Higdon, Evans, and True Wilson can step up, Michigan's got this game won. But if Felipe Franks steps up and the Florida ground game comes into play, give it to Florida. But I'm going to go with Michigan 21-17. That's how I feel. And I'm going to say this one more time. A lot of people, if Michigan loses this bowl game, I've got a strange feeling, and I'm not going to speculate about this any further until I get an official confirmation. But if Michigan loses their bowl game, Jim Harbaugh's out. Because let's face it, he hasn't beaten Ohio State yet. And he got humiliated 62-39. So Harbaugh's got a lot riding on this game. His seat's just gotten a little bit hotter at the University of Michigan. Yeah, and that seems about right. And that's how I feel. Thank you, Fast Break 386, for keeping the comments coming. All right. The next game I want to talk about, the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. This is the one that's got my attention. LSU coach Ed Orgeron has already said he's got his troops ready. Joe Burrow, the former Ohio State transfer, he's going to be at his best. UCF coach Josh Heupel has said Darryl Mack Jr. is going to be the guy he's going to be my go-to guy all game. Well, let's think about why UCF got here, why they're number 8 in the country. Most of it's because of McKenzie Milton. McKenzie Milton hurt his knee in the American Athletic Conference Championship game. Darryl Mack Jr. had to step up with 407 yards passing, and they had to come from behind to beat Memphis. Think about that. But also, too, LSU's got another major weapon. Devin White, the Butkus Award winner with 115 total stops this season. This could be huge. This is going to be a game of who steps up. Will it be Joe Burrow, or will it be Devin White of LSU, or will it be Darryl Mack Jr. of UCF? But I've got some concerns here. UCF is not going to have, they don't have McKenzie Milton available because he's out with a knee injury. And the bottom line is, it's going to be very interesting to see how this game goes. Darryl Mack Jr. stepped up. Let's see what the rest of UCF can do. LSU, they got Joe Burrow, one of the best quarterbacks, not from the state of Alabama. Just to think about that. But Devin White, the Butkus Award winner, yeah, and this is going to be another game to watch. Let's see who steps up. I know UCF's not going to like me for this, but I think UCF's win streak comes to an end. I'm going to take LSU beating UCF 20-17. I'm going to say 20-17 because basically Devin White, he could be the guy that could stop UCF. Now, nothing against Darryl Mack Jr. He had 407 passing yards in the American Athletic Conference Championship game. But he's no McKenzie Milton. And I'm not trying to insult UCF fans everywhere. I know that you don't like me saying this, but I've got to go with LSU beating UCF 20-17. Because let's face it, Joe Burrow, one of the best quarterbacks, not from the state of Alabama. And then you got to worry about Devin White, the Butkus Award winner. And that's going to be a game that's going to be very interesting to see how this one goes. And I hope, I'm a Bama fan, so you can see why. Yeah, I can see that. I do hope LSU beats UCF. I'm not trying to down on UCF, but I got to go along with my viewers. Okay, I got to go along with my viewers on this, and there's a lot of reasons why, and you're seeing why I'm going along with a lot of my viewers tonight. So, in my opinion, the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl goes to LSU 20-17. A lot of SEC fans are hoping LSU can get the job done. Because UCF, they won so many games in a row, but they don't have McKenzie Milton available for the bowl game, for the Fiesta Bowl. Darryl Mack Jr. is going to be getting the start. So there's a lot of questions here that still need to be answered, as far as I'm concerned. All right. Enough of the Fiesta Bowl. Now, Let's move on, ladies and gentlemen, to the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl. This is going to be a game. It's going to be interesting to see how this one goes. There's been a lot of questions here. A lot of questions that need to be answered. Number 9, Washington. Number 6, Ohio State. The Rose Bowl, the granddaddy of them all. This is Urban Meyer's final game at Ohio State. Here's the question. Who will step up? Will it be the Ohio State defense? Will it be Dwayne Haskins, Paris Campbell, or Terry McLaurin? Or will it be Washington? Running back Myles Gaskin, Jake Browning their quarterback, or will it be the Washington defense that steps up? They got the best rush defense in the game, only allowing 116 yards per game. And Myles Gaskin, the third leading rusher in Pac-12 history at 5,131 yards. Who steps up? Well, here's what I think needs to happen. Dwayne Haskins, what has he done the last 2 games? 11 touchdowns, 895 yards in the last 2 games. He had almost 500 yards passing in the Big Ten title game. Will he step up? Paris Campbell, Terry McLaurin, you got to think about them too. But let's think about this. Washington, the Washington Huskies, they got 2 pretty good quarterbacks. Jake Browning, one of the best quarterbacks that Washington has seen in years. Dwayne Haskins, he's really stepped up to the plate. Will he go pro next year? There's another question. Now, I'm not going to answer that question yet. But as far as I'm concerned, this is going to be a game that's going to be very interesting. Let's think back. Ohio State Northwestern in the Big Ten championship game. Ohio State has to survive a little bit of a scare from Northwestern. Let's think back to the Pac-12 championship game. Washington, 2 interceptions. They had a pick 6, which decided the game, which gave the Huskies a 10-3 victory over the Utah Utes in the Pac-12 title game. There's something to think about there too, because let's think about it. The Washington pass defense, they can defend the pass very well. I've seen some of their dudes. I've seen some of those guys at the University of Washington. They're big, and on top of that, they got the best rush defense at 116 yards per game. So the ground game for Ohio State might not work. This game is going to have to be won through the air. And something to think about too. Dre'Mont Jones and Chase Young, they've got to find a way to stop Myles Gaskin. If Myles Gaskin gets free all day and runs all over him, give this game to Washington. But if Dwayne Haskins can come through and find a way to get through the Washington pass defense, they've got this game won. So for the time being, it's going to be a crazy game, and I'm not sure how you folks will feel. But I'm going to go with Ohio State winning a close one, 31-28. I think Ohio State wins it at the last second with a last-second field goal. I really do. So I'm going to go with Ohio State 31-28 in the Rose Bowl over Washington. Washington coach Chris Peterson has said, I got a team that can take us all the way. We can represent the Pac-12 well, and we can ruin the party for Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer's pretty much said, this is going to be a game of who wants it the most. This is my last game. I've got a lot to coach for, and I got a lot on the line. Well, Urban, you're absolutely correct. But I'm going to be honest with you. You're going to have a battle on your hands against the Washington Huskies. Because you're going to be facing Jake Brown. Okay, I'll step up. But I see Ohio State winning. Not a surprise. There might be a little bit of a surprise there, but if the Husky pass rush, if the best rush defense in the country, if they can prove that, Washington could score an upset. That's something to think about. Because let's face it, Washington, they got Myles Gaskin, one of the best running backs in the Pac-12. And that's what Chase Young and Dre'Mont Jones are going to be facing. So there's a lot of things on the line. So I am going to go with Ohio State beating Washington 31-28. That's going to be a very interesting battle all the way to the end. And now, ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, I'm going to talk about it. The All-State Sugar Bowl. Number 15, Texas. Number 5, Georgia. This is going to be a very interesting game for so many reasons. Texas coach Tom Herman said, we had a disappointing end to the Big 12 championship game. It was just a rotten shame we couldn't stop Oklahoma. Georgia coach Kirby Smart said, we just got outplayed by Alabama in the SEC title game. And that's where we're at right now. We could get a home victory. It would be a very sweet finish to the end of the season. Texas, Georgia, another key. This is going to be a quarterback battle. But I've got some other people you need to think about too, my friends. There's some other guys you need to think about. Sam Ehlinger, 3,123 yards, responsible for 38 touchdowns, 25 through the air and 13 on the ground. Jake Fromm, 27 yards, 27 touchdowns, 2,537 yards for the season. But let's think about this. Colin Johnson, he could be a factor. Another person to think about for Texas, my friend, little Jordan Humphrey. He could be a very dangerous weapon too. Look out, if Ehlinger and little Jordan connect, it's going to be lights out. But also too, Texas has a great weapon on defense. Defensive tackle Chris Nelson. He could step up to the plate. But for Georgia, yes, they got Jake Fromm, a great quarterback. DeAndre Swift, 10 touchdowns, 1,037 yards rushing this season. He could be a very important weapon too. And also too, Georgia does have Elijah, the real deal Holyfield. And excuse me for the Evander Holyfield type thing, but that is Evander's son. Just a little FYI there. But anyway. Sam Ehlinger has got to step up. Yeah, other people will be a factor, but both teams have good offensive defense, so maybe up to the quarterbacks. He's right. Fast break 386 is absolutely right. This is going to be a quarterback battle. Sam Ehlinger versus Jake Fromm. A lot of people have this down as a quarterback battle, but let's see what happens. Because little Jordan Humphrey for Texas could step up. DeAndre Swift, he could come into, and Elijah Holyfield. He could be a factor. But I'm going to say this now. This game is going to be won through the air. I really do believe that. But I know a lot of people have said, oh, Scott, you're going to take your chances. You're not going to be going out on a limb. Well, a lot of people think I'm crazy for not going out on a limb. I'm not going to. I'm going to take Georgia winning this game 27-20 over Texas because I do believe Georgia has a better quarterback. I know statistically Ehlinger has 3,123 yards, and he's responsible for 38 touchdowns. But Jake Fromm, he'll be the guy that steps up to the plate at the end. But he's also got DeAndre Swift and Elijah Holyfield. And a lot of people are saying Georgia's going to win this game. I really do agree with that. But I'm going to say this now. Whoever wants it the most is going to be the guy. It's going to be the team that wants it. It's going to be the team that wins it. And I'm going to say this now. This is going to be the Sugar Bowl is going to be the interesting game. Along with all the New Year's Six bowls. I've got it down Clemson taking it 28-24. I got Alabama beating Oklahoma 38-24. I got Michigan beating Florida 21-17 in the Peach Bowl. I got LSU beating UCF 2017 in the Fiesta Bowl. And I got Ohio State taking Washington 31-28 in the Rose Bowl. And on top of that, to close it out with the Sugar Bowl, I've also got Texas beating Georgia. I got Georgia beating Texas 27-20. Sorry, I'm trying not to jump ahead of myself, but I'm just excited and I'm all set. Okay, you got to bear with me. But you know something? This season has been very fun. The college football season, and everybody's excited. Fast Break 386 is very excited too. But I'm going to say this though. This has been a great show. And all in all, this has been a fantastic season. I have been here Friday nights for my pregame show. I got a lot of insight into my postgame shows on Saturday night, Sunday morning sometimes. I get a lot of insight there too. I mean, I hand out my Scott Manning. I hand out my awards every week. I've been here Friday and Saturday night for the Scott Manning YouTube College Football Podcast pregame show, and it has been a fun ride throughout the season. And folks, this show, with the successes this show has had, I will be back next season for the Scott Manning YouTube College Football Podcast pregame show. I am renewing it. I am coming back next season, and you're going to be the first to know it. Yeah, I know that. Need more subs. Yeah. You know something though? I'm going to tell you, and I want to thank all of you for tuning in this season. But I'm not quite done with college football yet. Tomorrow night, as soon as the Orange Bowl is over, I will be going on the air to give you my reaction to the Peach Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, and the Sugar Bowl. I might do the Peach Bowl a little soon, or the Orange Bowl, I mean. I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead of myself here. but I might have a reaction to the Peach Bowl immediately following the game. I haven't decided yet. And some people have asked me, Scott, with the college football season coming to an end, what's next? Thank you, Fast Break 386. And if you can give me some more subscribers, that would be wonderful. And anybody else who's tuning in, hey, share the show with your friends. Get some more subscribers. I'm trying to be a successful show here. And and basically think about it. I'm just a one-man operation. It's just me. I don't have a whole team of producers. But you know what? All in all, this has been a great season in college football. Thank you, Fast Break 386. I really do appreciate that. But I'm going to say this now. This is my final edition of the Scott Manning YouTube College Football Podcast pregame show for this season. I will be back in September 2019, all fresh and ready to go to start a new season in college football. But what's next? As soon as college football is over, what's next? Starting Friday, January the 4th, at 11 o'clock, right here at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, it is going to be permanently be known as the Scott Manning YouTube College Basketball Podcast pregame show. I'm going from college football to college basketball in a big way. It's Friday night, January 4th. We start conference playing a big way, baby, in college basketball. I am so looking forward to that, and it's going to be a great ride. But this has been a great ride for me this season, and I want to thank you guys so much for being with me throughout all this season. You guys are a great group. You guys have a great night. I'll be back as the Scott Manning YouTube College Football Podcast pregame show. We'll be back in September 2019. And Fast Break 386, good night, man. Thank you for sticking with me. And you know what? This has been a great season. You guys are a great group. And it's been my pleasure to get you ready on Friday nights for college football. It becomes college basketball starting next Friday night, January 4th at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. It will be the Scott Manning YouTube College Basketball pregame show. I haven't forgot about the hardwood. And you guys are a great group. Thank you so much for being with me. You guys have a great night. God bless. Thank you so much for being with me. And let's enjoy the New Year's Six Bowls and let's have a great weekend. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for being with me. Thank you so much, and God bless. Good night, everybody, and thank you.